Well, good morning, and it's great to be here with you. I'm Marit Stiles. I'm the NDP MPP for Davenport, and also the official opposition education critic. And a few weeks ago, I was invited to participate in a town hall with a group of New Democrats, actually, in Ottawa, West Nepean. They had a town hall for folks in their community to talk about education. And in that conversation, there were a number of really amazing panelists. I mean, it was a really great lineup. But one really stood out for me, and that was a woman who is a custodian in the Ontario Catholic District School Board. And her name is Angelita Stolarik. And she and ever since I talked to her, I've been wondering how things are going, because this was a few weeks ago and it was not looking great in terms of a lot of issues around PPE, gloves, et cetera, in the schools. And so I was really concerned about it. And with schools starting to reopen around the province, I thought it'd be great to check in with Angelita and also share a little bit of the perspective of those custodians who are, we know in our schools are always a very important part of our schools, but the reality they face, I think, is often surprising for a lot of people when you find out, for example, that many custodians do not actually just work in one school, or custodian, maybe some schools just don't even have a full-time custodian, and that's often shocking for a lot of people. So anyways, I was really happy that Angelita agreed to join me today and to give me a little bit of an update. It's today, we're recording this on Tuesday, September 9th. I think I have that right. Oh, Wednesday, September 9th. And, and she's going to share a little bit of her thoughts with us. So thank you for joining us, Angelita. It's great to see you again.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for this opportunity to be heard.
Yes.
And hopefully be understood.
Yes, very, very good. And I really appreciate that you being here. So, in the last conversation we had, I heard a little bit about your life. You're a mom yourself, and you juggle a lot of different jobs and different roles, I know, like a lot of parents. But yours are particularly interesting. Can you tell us a little bit about what an average day might look like for your family and you?
So, since we chose to homeschool our children, we are expecting this our average day to be busier than normal. My husband works the day shift, but now he has more. Most of his time he can work from home, but there are days that he must to report in the office. I work I work the late shift. That's from 3 in the afternoon until 11:30. And I am also, on top of that, I'm also taking online courses with Algonquin College because I believe in education and I want to educate myself. I also am a very active member of our parish. So imagine what a parish community does. I'm very involved, I'm very engaged. And I also assist some of my friends or new people in their application for permanent residency and Canadian citizenship, preparing their documents and understanding what we're in Canada. Why not? They to be a citizen, to be able to vote. So that's a big thing for me as well. So and those who, yeah, I'm, and
well,
yes, I'm busy.
Busy people are like always increasingly busy, right? So it sounds
very
to me like
busy.
You're very active in so many ways, and as a relatively new Canadian, right? You're kind of helping people to also go through those transitions. That's really wonderful.
Yes, and it's not easy, and I like just to help the load, not so anyway. And right now, it's the first week of the online learning for our children, and it's not it's not very organized. I can understand because this is new for the teachers. This is new for us parents. So yeah, it's going to be busy. It's going to be very exciting. It's going to be challenging,
Yes.
and we'll see.
Yes. Well, and can you explain a little bit, because you said you know what now your shift's going to be, because you guys have decided to keep your kids home and do online, which I think is an interesting, decision always. When I hear that from people who work in the system as custodians or other education workers, it strikes me, yeah, that folks on the inside are feeling less than confident about this return to school. And I think a lot of parents, if you can figure out a way, are there, certainly we know like 30% of 30% of people are actually making that choice. It's not that unusual right now. But can you explain a little bit about how I feel that custodians in this moment are getting a little bit more attention because of the extremely important role, certainly throughout the pandemic, due to COVID-19. But for families and students in our schools, I think we already know how important that role is, and often are looking to see if they can get more custodial staff into schools, because it always feels like it's just our custodians are just so overworked and stretched too thin. What are you worried about right now as schools are coming back as a custodian?
Okay, so you might ask why I'm a custodian and we chose and I support our family's decision to not send our children back to school. Um, the room size is not that big.
Yeah.
And we don't know how many exactly will be attending. And my fear as a custodian is to be infected with the virus and to be a carrier of the virus and transmit it to my husband, to my children, and it's scary. I have another another custodian that's whose brother-in-law was infected with the virus, and now his kidney was also affected. He's on dialysis.
Oh.
My mother is on dialysis for a long time, and I could not imagine that it's I don't know how to say exactly the word, but it's very very tough. And the worst is like I could be the reason for a death of someone else. And with right now for us custodians, maybe some other schools are more prepared. Some other I don't go to places, but we don't have, there's no training that I am aware of on how to clean properly with this COVID-19. Um, there was a like last week there was a virtual training that was supposed to, but I don't know what's the content of it, because when we were about to open it, the system went down
Mm.
because of just so many users.
Yeah.
and and I'm just wondering why we have to wait this long to have all these things done.
Yeah, you would think that they would have done this long before, right?
We were closed in March 13,
Yeah.
and it's pandemic, it's new, so we have to be more proactive. I would say we can be more as employers, as government leaders. I think you have to be one step ahead, or than
Yeah.
that's just my belief. Like
Yeah.
you are there, you're willing to lead, you're willing to be in that possession. So you have, this is not a regular, this is not a normal situation for everyone. And yes, it's funny when I always I think of some I th- I always say that as the custodians or the people behind the scene, when the only time you see us in is when there is dirt and it's not picked up. But if it's always clean, it's always good news. We
That's
can't
right.
complain. Um, and when I think of when we always say education system, there's no doubt the teachers has huge role, and of course our dear students. And we forget that there are the education system also involves the EAs, the ECEs, the bus drivers,
Yes.
the cleaners as the custodians, and we custodians, we take ownership of the building.
Yeah.
Just don't it's not just about the cleaning part of it.
Right. Right.
So I was just I'm just hoping like there's, you know, and my one of the thing I'm thinking, if one of us will will get the virus. For example, there's in elementary there's 3, 4, or in the high schools there's 7 to 9 workers. And what about if all of are we, there's no protocol that's really implemented. It's just saying, we always hear that we wait until it happened and we make the decision.
Yeah, I was funny. I was listening to the Minister of Education yesterday. I thought they were going to maybe make an announcement on the first day back at school for so many that they were listening and that they were going to add resources or something, and or smaller classes, and there was nothing new really. And but one thing he said was, he said, we have many layers of of actions that we're taking, and that if they'll watch it and they'll throw new layers on if they need to. And I thought, why would you wait till something bad happens? Why don't we prevent those things from going wrong?
Yeah, they said he said, yeah, there's so many layers, but they can't even provide a good layer of mask.
Ah,
You
yeah, I was
know,
going
we
to ask
have
you about that because last time when
there's
go
I
ahead,
don't know, can I show you a photo of the mask that I took
please.
yesterday? It's called um Carix, and some of my coworkers said it's Carix.
Right,
Um,
Karen. Yeah,
some of my coworkers says that it's not really the I'm not sure, but I'm not
yeah,
100% sure about it. It's just it's the discussion. It's not the standard.
right.
It's not the standard mask. It's not the surgical mask that's really that would protect the user to inhale the particles from the surrounding. I we can search and call up.
But that's the kind of thing that you would hope that in advance of now, they would have, had those things. They would give you guys information about what, whether or not how this meets the standards. Like those are all things you have a right to know, but also, we all want it to work out, because the last thing we need is for our, great custodians and other education workers to get sick. I mean,
Yeah.
seems to be like a very basic thing. We expect that for all of our frontline workers.
What about, like, we're a part of the body, like, yeah, again, when we're all sick, like right now, I don't think we have the enough manpower
Yeah.
to do all the job, to all do all the disinfecting. Yeah, there's the budget, but the amount of time, uh, I don't think we were able, the school board was able to find those number of workers. um yeah, it's just it's like, let's wait, and yeah, again, let's wait until it happened, then we'll see, then we will know what to do. What about if it's about it what about if it costs someone's life, and we all know that this virus is new, and what about yes, some other people have less, it has less effect on them, but what about the long-term effect on the person?
Yes.
So yeah, it's new, but it's scary. And the our leaders could be more proactive.
Mhm.
They could, I always, and everyone, I think all the everyone, I think the majority of us are doing the best we can. And but again, they can be better, like provision of PPEs, provision of the knowledge, educating people, trainings, and all those. Why wait? Why later? Why wait until the school opens? And I have, like, even the teachers, they're not, this is just when they're talking and you hear them, they're also, they don't know really is what they will be doing exactly. Like, always, it's not just for it's for all education workers. It's tough.
Angelita, I think I remember you saying at one point in the last conversation we had that you worked at two different schools usually. Is that right? Did I remember that correctly?
Yes, I work also, I work as secretary with the
Right.
Catholic School Board for the International Language Program, and
Okay.
that's my part-time job. That's every Saturday. That's another thing. Until now, I have not heard from my superiors of, are we opening, are we closing, or something like that. It's, or are we still, there's no, the lack of communication.
Mm.
It's very poor. Um, and you don't know who to blame. Like,
I
I don't
think
know.
that, I mean, we've talked about this before, but there's the communication coming from the government has been so confusing and so, and well, so unclear and also very late. It just keeps changing and then it comes really late. And so I think boards have been scrambling to put all of this together, and now everything is delayed. And I'm hearing this from school boards across the province that that teachers and other education workers don't really know what's happening until they arrive, and until really the day that school starts, right? And even sometimes,
That's true.
did you, last time I talked to you, I just have two more quick questions. One is, last time we talked, you didn't have your gloves yet because you had needed medium-sized gloves. I remember this, and I thought, yeah, my hands are really small, but for women, we're not going to wear the same size gloves generally. So as men, did you ever get your gloves?
Not the gloves that of good quality. There's gloves provided, but it rips so easy.
Oh,
And imagine when you're cleaning some d-
yeah, you have
washroom.
gloves
Like,
for a reason,
you
right?
have to, it's no, it's not of good quality. It could be better. And where's the budget for that?
Yeah, well, that's right. Like, why can't we get the best things that we need for our public education system?
Yeah, so we're frontliners too. It's just we don't have that. We're not doctors, when we're not nurses, but even for doctors and nurses, who would clean after them?
right, right, exactly. Wow. So, okay, my final question is, and this is a big open-ended one, but the Minister of Education keeps saying that everything is going to be okay, but if it's not, we'll do something. Well, as we just talked about, if we can't keep our kids more than 2 meters apart, I mean, this is going to be a difficulty, and if we don't have the right supplies and stuff, that's going to be a problem. But what would you like to right now tell Stephen Lecce, the Minister of Education, and Doug Ford? If you could, maybe they'll be watching this. What would you like to say to them?
I'm I'm just wondering if they're parents. I don't know them personally, and I don't follow them. I don't check on Wikipedia and Google a lot about them. But I'm just wondering if they were parents, and if they are they engaged parents? Are they hands-on parents? Because it seems like, what is 2 meters distance between children. That's ridiculous. It's not. No, it's impossible. Some other children are more mature than other. Like a 7-year-old is more mature than another 7-year-old, a 6-year-old. But children will always be children. So can they just come to a school and check what's really happening in there? It's, they can just pretend they're no, like, they're just go in the school and just check it, observers, and just check. Maybe they can just put and see what's really happening inside the school, what we custodians see, what teachers, PAs see. Yeah, and it's not just about the body, the whole body, but it's every part of the body that's being affected here, or they being involved. So maybe they will be more, they don't depend on their ministers or on their people, and just listen to them. They have to experience it personally.
Yeah, it's a really good.
And not just listen to their advisors.
Yeah. That's why I feel like it's so important to stop and to listen to the people who are really in the schools working like you are.
Yeah, they're a minister of education is a huge job, and some parents chose to send their children here in Canada because they believe, and before coming to Canada, I believe that education system here is wonderful, and it's a huge responsibility. But if you just keep on listening to your advisors who, I don't know, may experience that themselves, come, will show you how it looks like. No, not just what's on media. Like media seems to show what's really the worst or what's the best,
Right.
not really what's the reality.
That's very
So
well. That sounds like an invitation. So if Doug Ford
yeah,
and Stephen Lecce are listening to this, go visit Angelita in the school when the kids are, or come before you get there and see what the
yes,
kids
that's
are
right.
like in
Make
the
go
classroom.
there when they are not expected to come in.
Ah,
Undercover, do undercover bus.
yeah, that's something. I don't know if they
Yes,
can get away with it, but it might not be a bad idea.
yeah, they have. I think it's, don't wait for last minute. Don't wait for that. What happened to the seniors' home
Oh, yeah.
will happen to the school system. It seems like it's not that far. We're going on the same road.
Yeah, and that's right. And I appreciate, I want to say thank you so much
No, you're
for your
welcome.
comments. And it's, part of the reason I do this and is that as the MPP and as the opposition critic, I can bring these, your voice and other voices maybe a bit closer to Doug Ford and Stephen Lecce and try to get them to listen to those voices on the front line. The same way, like you said, that during the pandemic, when it would first hit long-term care facilities, and it was those workers in those facilities saying, this is not going well, like we are in trouble here. And it really took the military going in and them saying it before the government seemed to really listen. So we shouldn't, and thousands of people died. So we can't let it get that far.
No, please. We have young children. It's not.
Yeah. Well,
If
thank
if
you so much. I
you're
really
welcome.
time and I know you got your own children there to deal with this morning. So
Yeah, they're excited about mommy also being able to be heard.
yes, yes, oh, that's amazing. And you're such a great spokesperson for your community and your families.
I'm trying, and before having this, I also ask my coworkers if they have certain concerns. And again, the PPE,
Yeah.
there's no proper training, and unfortunately, some people don't take this thing seriously. Maybe invest on yan. That this is not a joke. This is so procedures and certain ways how we don't know really how exactly. I think everyone knows that, but according to the medical experts, so maybe there's like to just eliminate or to make us all feel a little more safe, to have everyone educated, like and meet our one goal to have our children safe and us workers as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's, I mean, my goodness, the very least we should expect, isn't it? I really appreciate that. All right. Well, thank you
Yeah.
so much. Enjoy
Thank
the
you for
rest of
having
the
me.
day, and hopefully we can get the government to listen and listen to your words. And I will
They
definitely
have
share this
they
with.
have to. So we matter. Like if they leader person, like maybe a hierarchy, if this person on the top matters, I, the lowest, matter too. So we're people. You're just having your possession, and that's our difference.
Mhm,
But you cannot function if we are not here.
mhm, mhm.
You know, and so you care for yourself as you care for us as well. So it should be,
Yeah,
that's it.
equitable.
Yeah, that's it.
Thank
Thank you.
thank you so much. Very,
Thank you. Thank you. Have a great day.
you too.